Hi everyone, this is Attorney Lillian, and I am here today with your Tuesday tip. So today I want to talk to you about the 3 ways your previous marriage can affect your current marriage-based immigration case. I love talking about this topic. I get so many questions. I see this come up a lot with some of my clients. So I thought I would just spend the time, talk to you about it, and make sure you avoid these mistakes because they can be brutal for you to overcome. So let's make sure that you know what these top 3 things are so that you are not making the same mistakes. Okay. The second thing is not properly ending your previous marriage. Now, what does that mean? In order for your current marriage to be considered valid in the US, if you have ever been married before, you're expected to have a termination of your prior marriage. So that means you either have a divorce decree, an annulment, or a death. So if your spouse passed away, you need the death certificate. If you got divorced, you need the divorce decree, okay? And something to keep in mind, just keep this in mind. In some countries, you have traditional marriages, right? Customary marriage. And people assume that customary marriages do not count because you're not going to the courthouse or registry to register your marriage. However, for U.S. immigration purposes, because they have staff in all these countries, they know the countries that customary marriages are the same as a regular traditional marriage in the Eurocentric sense of the word marriage, right? So they know the difference. And if you tell them that, oh, you're not married, you just, it was a customary thing, it doesn't count. For US immigration purposes, it counts. Okay, it counts as a marriage, and that marriage needs to end before you can get married to someone else. That's the bottom line. Before you can move on and marry someone else, that initial marriage, whether it was customary or, you went to a church, registry, courthouse, whatever it was to get married, it must have ended. Now, people will say, well, a customary marriage, for example, in Nigeria, to end a customary marriage, the wife's family will give back the bride price, and the families just agree that the marriage is over. And people will stop there and think that's enough, or get an affidavit stating that. Well, now there is a mechanism in most of these countries. Again, I'm using Nigeria as an example, but also in Ghana, I know for sure there is a mechanism to go to the court once your family have agreed that the marriage has ended and the bride price, whatever the traditional customary thing is to end the marriage, once that has been concluded, you can actually go to the court and register that dissolution of your customary marriage. Okay, so you can let the court know, hey, by the way, we were married, now we're no longer married. And you want to do that as soon as possible after the actual customary things are concluded. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Even if it's a customary marriage, even if it's a customary divorce, the US government still wants proof that that divorce happened. And in most countries now, there is a mechanism to do it through the court, and you should be registering your customary divorce through the court so that you have documentation of when it took place, so that the US government can look at the divorce decree from the court for your customary marriage and see that that took place before you married your current spouse. It is so important and it makes such a difference. So let's say the customary divorce took place 10 years ago and you just registered it with the court 2 years ago or last year even. USCIS is going to question the timeline because they're going to be looking at, did you actually get divorced when you said that you got divorced and you're just, registering it now? Or is that really is the date of the registration when you actually got divorced? Okay, so you want to make sure that if you are doing a customary divorce, that you are also registering that with the court. Again, some countries are different and it's not even possible to register a customary divorce in certain countries. But I can tell you from experience, in most West African countries, you can and you should register the customary divorce. Again, I'll keep saying this, a customary marriage counts as marriage for US purposes. Okay, for immigration purposes, a customary marriage counts. So keep that in mind when you're filing, because that can come back and haunt you if you said that you were never married, or you put in one of your visa applications that you were married and then you had a customary divorce and now you're telling the US government that you're not married because you got that divorce. However, if you don't have documentation to prove that you actually did get divorced, that's going to haunt you. That's going to make it hard for you to get a visa, to get a green card through your current spouse, because now the US government is going to question whether you're actually divorced, whether your current marriage is valid and legal, right? Because US does not support polygamy, bigamy, none of it. It does not support it. So if you are married to more than one person at the same time, it's going to be an issue, and one of the marriages need a divorce. And in certain situations, you need to not only divorce the prior spouse, but you have to remarry the current spouse for it to count. So keep that in mind. So that's the second way your prior marriage can affect your current marriage-based immigration case. Now, okay, so that is your tip for today. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. And if you like this video, go ahead and share it. If you know someone who needs to hear this, go ahead and share the video with them. If you like what I'm talking about, like the video. And if you're watching in a place that you can subscribe and you do not want to miss any of my uploads, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I am Lillian Chukura. I am the lawyer and owner of Lillylegal, where we help our clients get status for themselves and for their family using the U.S. immigration law system. Thank you. Bye.